Hi all, welcome back to a new post today, and today I'm starting a new series called as Track the Prelims. So this first session is about tracking the preliminary questions that were very important from the UPSC as well as other competitive examinations, mainly the TSPSC Group 1 and also the APPSC Group 1. So these are the preliminary important questions for the week for June 4th up to June 9th, that is the week immediately after the preliminary examination of the UPSC for 2023. Let's have a quick review of what are the important prelims questions for the week that went by for June 4th to 9th. It's important to keep track of the prelims afresh every week because as you've observed this year's paper and the manner in which the questions have been asked, so your preparation for the UPSC has to be on a daily basis, if not at least on a weekly basis as well. And it's always better to track the questions afresh, so you need to be an early bird in catching what the issue has made news, why is it in headlines, and what are the important developments around it. I'm sure this session of the weekly tracking the prelims by Genesis and will definitely help the students to keep track of the important preliminary questions if they have a very busy schedule or if they are working, and definitely their aim is to crack the UPSC examination. Without wasting much time, let's go into the questions. So the very number one stands the BIMSTEC Business Conclave, now that was attended by the Ministry of Commerce, organized by the Indian Chamber of Commerce, which includes Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and they had agreed to establish a free trade area framework. But however, the components of the free trade area are still to be finalized. India is an important part of the BIMSTEC, and definitely this can be a very important question as India as a member of the BIMSTEC is also planning to agree a free trade area with the BIMSTEC countries. Now, member of the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectorial Technical and Economic Cooperation had in 2004 agreed to establish a free trade area framework agreement in order to stimulate trade and investment, but however some of the components are still under negotiations, and now this grouping has been founded in 1997. In 2027 they will be celebrating 30 years of establishment, and we need to track the developments about BIMSTEC and its journey since the 30 years of establishment. Number two, we had celebrated on June 5th the World Environment Day, the 50th World Environment Day, and Gulf of Mannar Marine Biosphere Reserve is the first marine biosphere reserve in Southeast Asia, running down to south from Rameshwaram to Kanyakumari in Tamil Nadu, and encompasses a chain of 21 islands with a total of 10,000 square kilometers. The Gulf of Mannar is renowned for highly productive pearl banks and also the religious significance as well. We have the Setu Samudram project coming up there, but which is not still implemented. Recognizing its biodiversity, Government of India designated the country's first marine biosphere reserve in 1989, and the Gulf of Mannar National Park has been identified as an important bird area by the BNHS Bird International because of the rich avian fauna consisting of 187 species. The Gulf of Mannar is also a biosphere reserve and has been identified as one of the important marine mammals area by the world by the IUCN due to its dugong population and other mammals as well. It is very famous for the sea turtle, sea cow or the dugong, the sea snakes, lobsters, crabs, coastal birds and coral reefs as well. So 50th year, at number 3 is 50th year of World Environment Day, which was celebrated on June 5th, and 2023 marks the 50th anniversary of the World Environment Day, and the host was Côte d'Ivoire in partnership with Netherlands. Now, the United Nations Environment Programme annually organizes the events of the World Environment Day, which encourages worldwide awareness and action for the protection of environment. World Environment Day is celebrated to pay homage to what is considered the world's first environment summit, that is 1972 United Nations Conference on Human Environment, and India hosted the 45th celebrations of World Environment Day under the theme Beat the Plastic Pollution in very recently 2018. And number 4 is Prime Minister Savanidhi, that is the Ministry of Urban and Housing Affairs, launched an important scheme, Pradhan Mantri Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi program, to empower the street vendors by not only extending to them loans but also for holistic development and economic upliftment. Now, the scheme intends to facilitate facilitate collateral-free working capital loans of up to 10,000 rupees of 1-year tenure, and also approximately 50 lakh street vendors have been helped to resume their businesses in the urban areas, including the peri-urban and the rural areas as well. The PM Savanidhi offers incentives in the form of interest subsidy at the rate of 7% per annum on regular payment of the repayment of the loan, cashback up to rupees 1200 per annum on undertaking prescribed digital transactions, and eligibility for enhanced next tranche of loans. So this is about the Prime Minister Savanidhi program. At number 5 is the NRIF ranking. Now the National Institutional Ranking Framework has been accepted by the Ministry of Education and launched by the Ministry of Education in 2015. The framework outlines a methodology to rank the institutions across the country of India. The parameters are important for the preliminary points of view: teaching, learning and resources, research and professional practices, graduation outcomes, outreach and inclusivity, and perception are the parameters on which the institutions are tested. The NIRF rankings for 2023 was released, and at the first place stood IIT Madras, which became the top institution this year for the overall once again, as it did last year as well. At number 6 is Kavach, which is called as the automatic train protection system. So recently, the Odisha railway mishap that happened was there was a discussion regarding the safety protocol to be followed, and also the Kavach system, which is now only being implemented and tried in the South Central Railways at a route of 1200 kilometers. So Kavach means armor, and it is an automatic train protection system indigenously developed by the Indian Railways through an organization which is important for you to remember, that is a research, design and standard organization. Now the initial development of the Kavach started in the year 2012 under the name called as Train Collision Avoidance System, or the TCAS. Kavach has been certified for compliance with safety integrity level 4 operations, and Kavach has been promoted to be the cheapest the automatic train protection system available in the world. So this is the distinction of this indigenously developed system. It is under implementation in the 1200 kilometer route of the South Central Railway system. And at number 7 is Arikompam. That is, Arikopam is derived from a Malayalam. It's a tusker, an elephant that was making news, and it shows the conflict between development and environment. So because of the forestation and reduction in the elephant areas, also the habitat, the elephant habitats. So Arikopam is derived from a Malayalam word Ari, meaning rice, and Kompam means tusker. Arikopam is a road tusker infamous for the habit of raiding the rice shops and also causing destructions on its part to many of the rice fields and also sugarcane plantations as well. Mission Arikopam was launched to search for the tusker and tranquilize it, and they did so. The forest officials of Tamil Nadu did so in Theni district, and it is going to be released in the Kalakad Mundanturai Tiger Reserve, which is located in Tamil Nadu. They plan to make the Arikopam a kumki, which is a trained elephant which is used by the forest department to carry on forest activities as well. And kumkis were used to search for this tusker named as Arikopam. The next 8th is Kerala Fiber Optic Network. The project aims to ensure internet facilities for all in Kerala at affordable prices in the state, and also aims to provide free internet for over 2 lakh poor families in the state, and it was recently launched by the Kerala government. At number 9 is ISET. So it is called as the Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies. It is in news even now during Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to USA. India and United States launched this ISET, that is the Initiatives on Critical and Emerging Technology, very recently in 2022 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Joe Biden, with the goal to elevate and expand the US-India strategic technology partnership and the main component defense industrial cooperation, not only between the government but also the business and the academic institutions of the two countries. Some of the key sectors or the technology sectors that will be covered under This ISET, that is the Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, include your defense, semiconductor, supply chain, space, STEM, that is the science, engineering, technology and math, and the initiative is in addition to identified areas such as biotechnology, advanced materials and also rare earth processing technology as well. At number 10 is Agni Prime. Now Agni Prime was recently test fired very successfully by the Defense Research and Development Organization of the APJ Abdul Kalam Island of Odisha coast on June 7, 2023. So this is a new generation nuclear capable Agni Prime ballistic missile which has a strike range of 1000 to 2000 kilometers from Abdul Kalam Island off the coast of Odisha. So it is a first pre-induction night launch of the Agni Prime, which is conducted by an organization called as the Strategic Forces Command, which handles the country's nuclear arsenal relating to the three services, that is the Army, Navy and the Air Force. And the validity, the accuracy of this missile has been validated. Agni Prime will replace the Agni 1 700 kilometers missile in the arsenal of the Strategic Command Forces, and which also has Prithvi 2, Agni 2, Agni 3 and Agni 4 ballistic missiles. Agni Prime incorporates very new features as well, like the new propulsion system, composite rocket motor casings, as well as an advanced navigation and guidance system. Significantly, it is also a canister launch system, like the country's first intercontinental ballistic missile, the over 500 kilometer range Agni 5, which is now being inducted into the Strategic Forces Command. The canister launch missile gives the armed forces a requisite operational flexibility for long periods and can also swiftly transport through rail and road and can fire it from anywhere. These are the features of the Agni Prime. At number 11 is the Agni missile. So the Agni missile gains its name from the fire, and it is a medium to intercontinental range ballistic missiles developed by India. It is named after the 5 elements of nature, one being fire. Agni missiles are long range nuclear capable missiles that are surface to surface ballistic missiles. The first missile in the series, Agni 1, was developed under a program called as the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, and we have the 6 types of Agni missiles. Agni 1 with a range of 700 to 1200, it is operational. Agni Prime with a range of 1000 to 2000 kilometers. Agni 2 for a range of 2000 to 3500 kilometers. Agni 3, which has a range of 3000 to 5000 kilometers. Agni 4, 3500 to 4000 kilometers. Agni 5 at 7000 to 8000 kilometers, and Agni 6, 11,000 to 12,000 kilometers, and it is under development. So only Agni 1, Agni 3, 2 and 4 are operational, and at 12 stands the Taiwan Strait and the important islands. So the United States took up a transit in the Taiwan Strait, and let me tell you that China has a one China policy which claims authority over Taiwan. US took up freedom of navigation transit through to the Taiwan Strait, and it brought in criticism from China, violating the integrity of the country. Some of the important islands that we can see in the Taiwan Strait, which is a strait located between the mainland China and Taiwan, are the Matsu Islands, the Haitan Islands, the Dongshan Islands, Kinmen Islands, Pengshu Islands, and as well as these are the islands in between the mainland China and the Taiwan Strait, which is important from your preliminary point of view. And at number 13, we know that railway safety was in discussion, and also the indigenously developed anti-train collision system, that is the Kavach, was in discussion. So who does take care of the safety of the civil aviation in the country? It is the Director General of Civil Aviation, which is a regulatory body in the field of civil aviation and primarily deals with safety issues. It is responsible for regulating the air transport services to, from and within India, and also for enforcement of all the civil air regulations, air safety and also airworthiness standards as well. The DGCA coordinates all the regulatory functions within the international organization called as the International Civil Aviation Organization, or the ICAO, which is a specialized agency of the United Nations. And at number 14 is the Meiteis, which are a tribal community from Manipur, and recently there has been a conflict-like situation where curfew was also imposed in Manipur. So the Meiteis are demanding for a scheduled tribe status, They are tribals in the state of Manipur, but they are demanding for a scheduled tribe status, and the Kukis and the Zobis and the Nagas are against it. So the majority of the population in Manipur is the Metis, and they inhabit the plains, while the Kukis and the Nagas stay in the hilly areas. Now there is a certain criteria for acquiring a scheduled tribe status, though it is not mentioned in the constitution, but this is given by the government of India. Constitution only mentions about the scheduled tribes and the scheduled castes under article 341 and 342, which gives the definition about the tribes included in the list given by the President of India through a notification, which are called as Constitutional Scheduled Tribe Orders and Constitutional Scheduled Caste Orders of 1950. So what is the criteria to be a scheduled tribe? If the Metis are to be given a scheduled tribe status, then they have to fulfill the following criteria. Number 1 is primitive traits. Number 2 is distinctive culture. Number 3 is geographical isolation. Number 4, shyness of contact with the community at large, and number 5 is backwardness. And the number 15th important preliminary to track is Modi's visit to US. So India and US enjoy a comprehensive global strategic partnership. Many times UPSC has given descriptions of the relation between India and other countries. India and US enjoy a comprehensive global strategic partnership, which is laid on the shared foundations of democratic values, strong people-to-people ties, and unwavering commitment to global peace and security. Now, while India and US have been, while Modi's visit was to US, there was a discussion about the general system of preferences, where US recently spoke of terminating this GSP system of preferences, where India has been enjoying it since 2017. So what exactly is this GSP? Now, it is the largest and the oldest US trade preference program, and it has been established under an act called as the Trade Act of 1974. Now, the GSP promotes economic development and eliminates duties on thousands of products that are imported from 119 designated beneficiary countries and territories, including India. India has been the largest beneficiary of the GSP regime and accounted for over a quarter of the goods that got duty-free access into United States. Now, the announcement of the United States that it intends to terminate the Indian designation of GSP as a beneficiary could be a big blow to India's competitiveness in items of group such as garments, engineering, and intermediary goods that reach the American market system. So it's something related to trade and also related to duties on goods that are waived off when Indian goods reach the American coast. At number 16 is the discussion and the issue of the map which has been found in the new parliament as a mural. So this map is called as the Akhand Bharat map, and the mural of this map has been found in the new parliament. And recently, when the Prime Minister of Nepal was on a visit to India, he showed concern regarding the map that was depicted in this parliament. So what exactly is this Akhand Bharat map? It stands for Akhand Hindustan, and it is a term that is described for unified greater India. It asserts modern day Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Tibet as one nation. So all these countries, including India, which existed during the Asian period, are shown as one nation in the map, and this is called for criticism from Nepal. At number 17 is the company called as ThyssenKrupp Marine System. Now, it has been in news. It is a German company that has shown discussion to provide or to supply submarines, conventional diesel submarines to India under a project called as Project 75I. At number 18, the important preliminary question is Project 75I, simply known as Project 75 India. So I stands for India. It is a military acquisition initiative affiliated to India's Ministry of Defence, and it is aimed for procuring diesel electric submarines for the Indian Navy, and it was conceived in the year 1997. The initiative's objective has been to procure a class of 6 conventionally powered attack submarines for the Indian Navy submarine arm, and it replaces the Sindhu Ghosh class of submarine system. So Project 75I seeks to acquire diesel submarines which will replace the Sindhu Ghosh class of submarines. At number 19 is the Sharda Peat corridor that was discussed by Home Minister Amit Shah. So the Home Minister Amit Shah said the government will move forward to open the Sharda Peeth on lines of the Kartarpur corridor. Now the Sharda Peeth is a revered Hindu site and it is located in the Neelam Valley in Pakistan occupied Kashmir or the POK across the Teetwal village in Kupwara district of Jammu and Kashmir along the line of control in Jammu and Kashmir between India and Pakistan. So there is a corridor that is being planned and on the similar lines of the Kartarpur corridor, and at number 20 is the very Kartarpur corridor itself. So this corridor was inaugurated in 2019 between two important Sikh shrines, that is Dera Baba Nanak in Gurdaspur or district of Punjab and the Gurudwara Darbar Sahib in Kartarpur of Pakistan. And let me tell you, it allows the pilgrims to travel visa free. So you do not need a visa to travel to the Kartarpur corridor. And at number 21 is now the description or the AAP's description of a black ordnance. So there is no ordnance which has been released either by any state or the central called as the black ordnance, but it's only describing the National Capital Territory of Delhi Ordinance 2023, which was brought about by the centre regarding to the services in the Union Territory of Delhi. Now the Constitution Bench of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud held that the Delhi government can make laws and administer civil services in the national capital. The court limited the role of the Lieutenant Governor, an arm of the centre, over the bureaucrats in the capital in three specific areas, that is public order, police and land. So let me tell you, according to the 69th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1991, Delhi got a special status which is a union territory, but it also has an elected government with the Chief Minister and the Council of Ministers, and they can make laws on the state list except for public order, police and land. There has been a conflict with the Lieutenant Governor asking the bureaucrats to report all the issues to the Lieutenant Governor, and this issue went to the Supreme Court, where the court said that the Lieutenant Governor has power on the bureaucrats only on these three issues, that is public order, police and land, and not any other issues. And in return of this, the centre came up with an ordinance called as the National Capital Territory Delhi Ordinance 2023. The judgment of the Supreme Court wanted to strike a balance between the centre in the capital and the authority of the Delhi government with regard to civil services reporting to the government there. The centre, however, turned the table on the judgment and promulgated a National Capital Territory of Delhi Ordinance, which means a fresh claim of power on the bureaucrats or the civil services officers operating in the capital, and forms a committee which is headed by the Chief Minister of Delhi. So this ordinance has been described as black ordinance, and President can promulgate an ordinance under Article 123 and the Governor under Article 213 as well. At number 22 is the Navy test-fired, indigenously designed and developed torpedo named as Varuna Shastra. Now that will replace the old torpedoes and will be a mainstay of the Navy. The indigenously designed and developed heavyweight torpedo Varuna Shastra was on June 6 successfully test fired with a live warhead against an undersea target by the Indian Navy. Now Varuna Shastra is a ship launched anti-submarine torpedo. This description is important. Having a low drift navigation system, acoustic homing, advanced acoustic countermeasure features, and autonomous guidance algorithms in sensitive munition warheads, and also it has a GPS based recovery aid for practice torpedoes according to the Defence Ministry description. Varuna Shastra was designed and developed by a Vizag based Naval Science and Technology Development, that is the NSTL, under the DRDO, and it is manufactured by Bharat Dynamics Limited. At number 23 is the Namaste scheme. So Ministry of Social Justice and Environment Empowerment brought out a report on manual scavenging. So this has been in news because budget 2023 and 24, that is the recent budget, allocated 100 crore for the scheme called as Namaste. What is Namaste? Namaste is National Action for Mechanized Sanitation Ecosystem, and the government is planning to enable 100% mechanized de-sludging of septic tanks and also sewers in all cities and towns. The process of extending the scheme of Namaste to all the urban bodies of the country has now been initiated, and the scheme is undertaken jointly by the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs and the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and it aims to eradicate unsafe manual sewer and septic cleaning practices. Now, manual scavenging is defined as the removal of human excreta from public streets or dry latrines, cleaning of septic tanks, gutters, sewers manually. India banned the practice under a law called as a Prohibition of Employment as Manual Scavengers and the Rehabilitation Act 2013. The Act recognizes manual scavenging as a dehumanizing practice. And at 24 is Draupadi Murmu has been on a visit to Suriname, and there she was awarded with the highest civilian order of Suriname called as the Grand Order Chain of Yellow Star. Now, President Draupadi Murmu was conferred as Suriname's highest civilian order. The two countries also signed MOUs on health, agriculture and capacity building. These are the three MOUs that were signed. Let me tell you, President Draupadi Murmu is the first Indian to receive this award, and this was given by the President of Republic of Suriname, Chandrike Prasad Sentoki. The honor symbolizes enduring bonds of friendship and cooperation between the two nations. And at number 25 is the CRS, that is the Commission for Safety of Railway Officers. The Commission of Railway Safety Commissioners are a part of the Commissioners of Railway Safety, which is a government body and acts as the railway safety authority of the country. The Commission of Railway Safety is a government body that acts as the railway safety authority of the country. It deals with matters relating to rail safety, travel operations, and among others, some of the statutory functions like investigation, advisory, and inspectorial functions. It was laid down under, it is a statutory body created under Railway Act of 1989. Some of the functions are inspectorial, investigatory and advisory laid down by the Railways Act of 1989. It is headquartered in Lucknow of Uttar Pradesh, and it does not, though it is a railway safety authority, it does not report to the Ministry of Railways. In fact, it is under the administrative control of the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Now, the reason behind this is to keep the CRS insulated from the influence of the country's railway establishment and also prevention of conflict of interest. So these are the top 25 questions in part 2. There will be the next 25 questions for the week of June 4th to June 9th. I shall see you in part 2 of Track the Prelims this week.